Hello, beautiful people, and welcome to Lesson 5 of Carcassi's Caprice in D minor. In today's lesson, all we have to do is just tackle 3 measures and we actually arrive at the finish line for this piece. So we're going to focus mostly on measures 16 and 17, introduce our PIMA arpeggio and this concept called extension timing. And the beautiful thing about 16 and 17 is it just repeats, so we get 18 and 19 checked off. And the same thing with measure 20. Once we go over that, it's a buy one, get one measure. We'll have 21 taken care of as well. So let's jump right into that. We're going to start with our PIMA arpeggio. So let's take those 4 fingers and we'll place them on the first 4 strings. Now, I'm just going to play P, I, M, and then here's kind of where the nuance comes in. So just really, if you're really check in here for a moment. As I play A, I'm going to place P down on the 4th string. Now you'll notice my I, M, and A fingers are slightly flexed into my palm, and then this is our term, extension timing. As I play P, I'm going to be timing when I extend my fingers out. So again, I play P and I extend I, M, and A. Here's one more detail to catch. As I play P and I extend those fingers out, my I finger is on the 3rd string and my M and A fingers are hovering over strings 2 and 1. This is very, very important. So just for a moment, just practice playing P, I touches the 3rd string, M and A hover. P plays, I is down and M and A are hovering. And make sure you're starting from a slightly flexed position. Not an inherently exciting exercise here, but very important. So now we'll put it together. We have P, I, M, A, P, I, M, A. I fingers down, but M and A get planted sequentially. Okay, so we need the Y now. Why do we trouble ourselves with that? So if we place our fingers down, I want to invite you now to listen to the 1st string and listen to the duration of the note. I'm kind of exaggerating a little bit here, but what you should be hearing is that high E, that 1st string, is getting chopped off. So now, if I'm careful with having my M and A fingers hover over, it should sound like a much longer note. So give a listen. So there you have it. We have something that sounds a little bit more fluid, flowy, legato, any of those kind of adjectives. So with that in mind, feel free to pause me here if you need to practice that a couple times on open strings. Always a great concept, right hand alone. But I'm going to keep going now. Let's introduce our left hand. So we have 2 chords. We're going to play D minor, and then we're going to go to our diminished chord. So it's just like measure 1 in one sense, but the pattern is different. So I'm going to play P, I, M, A, P, the same rules apply. It can be difficult at first because you might be really thinking a lot about your right hand, but the concept remains the same, that you shift on your open bass note. Nothing changes there. So just see if you can kind of move your attention in and out as you need to. I'm going to play that with the metronome a couple times. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4. So that little example is going to cover measure 16. We'll put it in context in just a moment. And then for measure 17 now, we're thinking of the same thing where we start off with the D minor chord, but then we go to this kind of A shape up top over a pedal bass if you're remembering all these threads that we've built here. So we'll try that, same deal. Ready, go. Leave your second finger down. And just put C sharp down. So now we'll take a brief moment to just play those back to back so we get kind of a bigger rep here. 1, 2, ready, go. Diminished chord first. Back to D minor. A shape. Now we get the privilege to put this kind of in the bigger context now. So when we play measure 16 and 17, they both start off with that very familiar pattern that we've played in essentially every other measure of this piece. So we'll play D minor with our P-I-M-I-A-I-M-I pattern, and then we play our new P-I-M-A pattern. Our P-I-M-A pattern. Okay, in context. Measure 16 and 17. Ready, go. P-I-M-A is next. Diminished shape. Familiar pattern. Without talking. Which brings us perfectly up to measure 20. So we'll make a small little exercise out of this as well, and then we'll put it in context. So we're going to start off with having our middle finger on A and our pinky on the 3rd fret on D on the 2nd string, and then we'll put our first finger on F, 6th string, 1st fret. And then here we're going to play just a P-I-M-I pattern, which again we've been practicing a lot throughout this piece, so I won't over-explain anything here. So we're going to play P-I-M-I, P-I-M-I. I happen to like doing rest strokes here because I like the falling motion of my thumb, helps me feel stable, but find what feels good for yourself. And again here, of course we're playing string 6, 3, 2, 3, 5, 3, 2, 3. Here we go. Then now we're going to put this in context, and we're going to play that D minor shape again, that same arpeggio, but now we're going to do a hinge bar. So let's talk through this for a moment. So notice that I'm going to play this with a hinge there, and then now I drop my first finger down. But here's the deal, I don't actually need to have a bar here, so don't press down firmly with your index finger. There's no need, because you're only really fretting just the F, right? You don't need to have all those other notes down. It's not part of the chord. So again, I start with D minor as a hinge. put it together. So we have, again, our index finger here as a hinge. Close out with the D minor chord. Bonus points if you remember to mute the 5th string A so it sounds very nice and tidy. So let's close out today's lesson by just going from measure 16 to the end. 1, 2, ready, go. Okay, thank you so much. In our next video, we'll talk a little bit more about strategies for speed and using the metronome. And until then, happy practicing, and thanks again for spending your time with me. See you.